for those that have watched the last few week or so, I've been sick, so that's why I'm an avatar. But Zia looks fantastic, so she's double dutying it.
Double duty. These boobs are double dutying it.
Well, yeah, twice the puppies you've ever wanted. So
I love them so much. I just went through the last yesterday and today I went through the closet, all my old clothes, and tried everything on to see what still fits and what I have to get rid of. And like I did have to get rid of some stuff, but mostly everything just fits so good now.
You're just like you're going into the sector, my boob size, where everything just makes it look big.
Yes.
Or
I
bigger.
put it on and they just look giant. They just look huge.
Yeah, because it's like wearing a t-shirt. For me, it's like a crop top, but for shorter girls, it's like a long dress. And now with the boobage, it's like, oh wow, everything looks just tight because
that's exactly what it is. They make me so happy. And they're starting to soften up. So they're getting because they're firm for a while, but my last set got really jiggly. And so these are starting to really soften up and feel really nice and like squishy.
I am very sure the chat is just so happy about
I can't stop touching my boobs. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh, everyone's just crying.
It's terrible.
It's so horrible. But hi everyone. I'm Xray Girl. This is Zia. It's been a long time since we've been here. It feels
long time, yes.
And I was actually searching the last time we streamed this on my channel, and it was back in December.
Oh my god, have we not done it since January?
We've done it once on your channel, I think, about a month ago. And then of course things happened, travel, sickness, surgery, other things that came up. And we're back. And I apologize to anyone that wanted to watch my reaction to the episodes today, but I had to go pick up my rental car, and that was the only time I could do it. So, yay!
We're killing it. God, life. Get it in the way of everything.
I know. But overall, which episode did you like more?
Ooh, they were both really cool, but I got to go Torchwood on this one because it was just so good.
Me too. I think the writing was just so strong, and obviously they really planned ahead on this episode.
Yes, and doing the callback to for some reason her name, I just watched it today.
Susie?
Susie, thank you. The callback to bringing Susie back and it was such a fucking stroke of genius.
Like it was the whole everything that happened, because you think, oh, it's perchance, and we'll get into it, of course.
Yeah.
And it's not entirely chance, but
And I like the Doctor Who episode though. Like it was good. It was a good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but the Torchwood one was just so well done.
So I usually like starting with a not as good one. Let's start with the Doctor Who one. I do like that they're planting the seeds for whoever Mr. Saxon is.
Yep. And that was, I completely forgot about that because it had been so long since we've watched it. But that's right. Someone came in contact with Martha's mom. And they're sort of, I can see that's going to be like a fun, gradual thing. And I do remember what it is, I think.
Oh, who Mr. Saxon is.
Yeah. So that's going to be like a really fun payoff from what I remember.
Ooh, I cannot wait because it's just so mysterious. Is it as mysterious as Torchwood? Is it better? I don't know. I don't
want to say anything because I don't want to expectations, but it is very cool. And yeah, it's just I like that. Yeah, they're sowing the seeds for that. Well, they're still doing these really sort of episodic, adventures, but then they kind of have that through line to draw everything together, which was what's going to happen. But this was a really fun one. I love that Martha had a little bit of a love interest in this one. That was cool.
That was so strange to see that. Oh my God.
Right? She gave him a nice little kiss there at the end. But yeah, this one was awesome because it's such a cool concept. This idea that they're farming for fuel without, thinking about the consequences.
I mean, isn't that always the case?
Yeah, that's like exactly. That's why Torchwood, but Doctor Who has always been a really progressive show. And I feel like they just got so out. I know we've talked about this plenty of times before. They just got so out of hand, but they really were, a super progressive show. And it's bad
Very ahead of its time.
Yeah, that fans that were that into that show got the ick from it. Like they really went so far. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's a message, Silver Battleship, but it's not
a message
because it was just a really cool story the way they told it.
Yeah. Before we go on, Psychotic Mongoose with the 5 British pounds. Thank you, Mongoose. It's great to have the stream back. Hope you feel fully better soon, Xray. And Zia, you look great. I agree with that.
Mongoose. I did send Xray Girl a picture of my boobs like right away.
Although I don't know if I really needed it. I saw one somewhere.
On Twitter. Yeah. So I had to take that part out because I was adjusting my they're so big and heavy that it actually, and still healing, mind you. I'm supposed to be wearing a sports bra like all the time, so I'm just keeping it on. But that when I take it off to shower or when I was trying clothes on, it hurts to not be in a supportive sports bra. So I'm constantly pulling it down to make sure that it's supported on the bottom well. Because like if it rides up, then it just has this band, it's supposed to be under that. So it's like, I don't want to accidentally flash on your channel, but so I'm constantly like adjusting it like that. And I just did it without thinking. Like I did it too callously. And I just flashed a whole boob, just one whole nip.
Lord. Well, happens sometimes.
Happens to the best of us.
That's funny. You just like Jonathan Stevie here. You're just showing some love. Thank you for the 5, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yes, I was just showing some love. I'm just spreading the boobs. People are talking mad shit about my boobs on Twitter, though. Those fuckers.
Oh, really?
It's Twitter. What do you expect?
Yeah, that's very true. You associate yourself with well, just in general on Twitter. It's degeneracy at its best.
Twitter degenerates.
Yeah. So this episode for Doctor Who, it kind of starts off, they get the distress signal, they go in, and it really sets the scene right away. It's like, okay, they're going to crash into some sort of sun. There's the distress signal. It's beeping. It's hot. And then the TARDIS gets stuck behind a door.
And then they can't get back to it. So no matter what, they have to save that ship. Otherwise, they go down with it.
Even if the TARDIS wasn't there, I feel like they would have saved it.
Yeah, they would have. There's no way the Doctor would have just left them to die. That would be like last case. Yeah, this episode really was a good episode. Just the stakes were so high.
They were. Well,
a lot of people died. Like this, exactly, death, and a lot of people died.
Oh my god, a lot of people died. Like half the crew.
The only 2 people left on the crew made it. Those 2 dudes. Everyone else donezo.
So they had to fix whatever was going on with the ship. Now, I didn't actually really like the door thing, the doors with the questions. I felt like that was a weak point of the episode.
I actually agree with you there. It's like, why are they asking questions about who had more #1 hits? Which, by the way, this annoyed me too. The Beatles. You mean you don't know what Beatles are in the future? Like,
is that really English?
Yeah,
it's not Beatles. You know how to say Beatles.
That for some reason just annoyed the shit out of me. I was like, the Beatles. But you can say Elvis Presley. That you said fine, but the Beatles.
Like EIs and IEs always confuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
But for some reason, EA beat.
Exactly, beat. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you there, actually.
And even that one where it was like the numbers, like which number is next, and the Doctor, even though it was kind of like, it seemed Doctor-esque, but it kind of felt a little off when he was trying to explain the math behind it, like prime something. Like, how you don't know math? Like, what? No, Doctor, no one knows this, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, did he say something like recreational math? Is that what he said? Like, they don't
teach you guys don't know Who does recreational math?
No one. Literally no one. And this is coming from an Asian person, everyone.
I know.
Think about that.
I know.
No one's
Like,
doing
I love
recreation
math, but not that much, okay?
No. You're not at home like, let me do some math problems for funsies.
Yeah. Like, you
what?
know when people say pi 3.14, I only know those first 3 numbers. I don't care about learning the other numbers after.
No, that's not fun. Numbers are not the funnest.
No, but yeah, that LDT. It's not dishonor.
Dishonor.
I'm just being truthful. Like, it just wasn't a strong point, and then it's kind of doctory, but not. I don't think the doctor would have said that, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So he's a bit more comical than that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't funny in my opinion, but there was other good parts for the episode. Those were just my like nitpicky points in the episode. So yeah. And then meeting the alien, that okay, I will say is pretty freaky.
Yeah, that was a really good, like very creepy alien. Burn with us, like the voice. And as they were, this was a really fun one because they were trying to figure out what it was the entire time, and they really didn't figure it out until the end. It was like a very, which was cool. I kind of like when they do that. It's like a mystery episode. But yeah, that was a really good reveal where he's looking at the sun, he realizes it's alive.
It's a living being.
It's
I
a
guess
living being.
most cases, everything usually is a living being.
It's just whether it's conscious or not.
We've never went into the sun ever, otherwise you die.
Yeah,
We don't know what it's like in there. We've only theorized what it is like and
Can
how
you imagine if the sun was conscious?
What things it would do? Maybe when we get solar flares, it's just being angry. I don't know.
That'd be wild. Yeah. Having a tantrum.
That like I would not want to know that being at all. That would be probably really scary. But it is a cool concept. And the idea of them farming for the sun particles, I guess, is that what they were saying? Like the fuel?
Yeah, it was fuel, but what the hell did they call it? It something in particular. Oh gosh.
Maybe someone in chat knows better than us. Oh no.
I'm really trying to think. Do y'all remember? It was called something in particular, and the doctor is very adamant that Martha give it back.
Well, because it's very similar to Avatar, not the Last Airbender, Blue Avatar. When they were mining for whatever was on their planet. Like you're stealing people's living source. So don't do that. But humans will do what humans do. We've done it for countless centuries. Wow, I don't think it's this. LDT unobtainium. You're mixing franchises now.
Unobtainium, which by the way, what a word, unobtainium. It's really hard to get. What's it called? Unobtainium.
Thank you, Tomby, for the raid as well. Welcome, raiders.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hello.
I have to apologize. I keep yawning to everybody. I've been like retarded tired.
She's been healing her boobies.
It's ridiculous how tired I am. It's insane.
It was like me. I would do like one thing in the kitchen and then I'd sit down and be like, I'm so exhausted.
Yeah.
My brother would be like, stay, sit, don't move. I'll do everything.
Which is also really hard to do. We were texting about this earlier where you're like, I'm tired of resting. I'm like, I know exactly how you feel.
And I want to go to the gym. I miss the gym
so much. Oh my God. The fact that I can't work out now is fucking killing me.
I feel so fat.
Same. But I'm sure that you look exactly the same, but it's just that feeling. I get it.
I'm like, Tina the fat lard.
What is that from?
I don't know. And now it's gonna bother me.
Damn it.
The fat lord. Okay, I'm googling it right now. Tina Napoleon Dynamite.
That's
Tina,
what it is.
Lord.
That's what it
is. We know we're not fat, okay, Jonathan?
No, I know.
We're being typical girls right now.
We're being women. We can't help ourselves. It's silly.
When they went downstairs and met Corwin when he was all aliened up, I honestly thought that was a CT machine.
It looks like a CT machine.
Yeah.
What did they call it? A hyperbolic chamber?
A stasis chamber. Which I don't know how like stasis chambers work, but it wasn't enclosed. I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was wondering the same thing. I was like, it's just open. And they're not even pretending like there's a force field there or anything.
Yeah, which makes me really confused. Do you remember how at one point the guy's head was in there, and I guess they either turned it really hot or really cold, but they never really explained it. And maybe that's another reason why I'm like, how did I not know this was a stasis chamber until the very end? I'm nitpicking yet again.
No, but you're right. Like there were definitely a few things. And the thing that also I was finding myself when I was watching was when Martha's like, no, you've done enough. Let me do it. And she just magically knows how to use an alien stasis chamber from fucking however many years.
She was like flipping through a book and then all of a sudden started talking to the doctor. The doctor's like, we have no time. Turn it into negative 200 degrees. And she just says, you need to believe in me, doctor.
Yeah, and then they keep sitting there and yammering away, and you're like, no, put him in. You don't have time for this. You know, if you had put him,
Martha,
instead of talking that whole time, then he probably would have been cured before what's-his-face had a time to turn the power off.
I know that. Okay. The more I talk about this episode, the more I don't like it.
I know. I'm like, wait a second. I actually had problems with this. It was a really cool concept, but there were some execution errors in there that you're just like, okay, come on, you guys.
Execution errors.
So. Come on.
And you know what it was too? Gary, who I told obviously that we're watching this next episode, he's like, you know, it's not the worst episode, but it's not the best. And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to start judging this.
No, but that's kind of exactly where it lands. You're right. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Like we've seen some really phenomenal Doctor Who episodes, and this one's kind of just like, yeah, cool concept. And then we're, like you said, we're getting into it and we're like, and wait a second, what about this?
What about that? And what about that? I don't understand. Also, okay, another point. I'm really just hating this episode now. When the doctor gets to when the guy and Martha are in the escape pod, and the guy, I think Ashton was his name, is trying to send them off, and then they keep on overriding. Why didn't he just use his pen?
Oh yeah, he should have used his freaking screwdriver. He should have used Scottish screwdriver. Doctor,
he would have stopped it from being sent out.
Yeah. Yep. That makes a lot more sense.
Like, although it just is like, what?
I did really like the moment between Ashton and Martha in the escape pod.
Oh my God. That was just such a raw moment where it's like, okay, he doesn't have anyone to like rely on, believe in him.
Yeah.
It was really sad. His story. And then he's like, you should call your loved one. I'm like, yes, she should. And then to see, of course, Mama being deceiving with that, whoever that lady was. We never got to know her name.
Yeah, just the blonde lady that was there.
And like, I don't know, I've never really had a phone call where the person on the other line sounded like they were gonna die. But I would have just been like, where are you? I need to find you. Let me come pick you up. But she's like, are you with the doctor?
She is like with you, really obsessed with that doctor. And she's definitely was not very transparent about it at all. And her daughter was like really sad and definitely very emotional and calling her mom just like, can we please talk about something? And her mom is just like, that doctor. And you're just like, lady, also
your child is in distress. Like,
yeah,
help her.
Also, I don't know why it took me so long to mention it, but the mom's eyebrows really freak me out. Just really intense eyebrows.
It's a 2000s.
That's true. That is true.
Do you remember I totally put a picture of when I was in high school, on that Instagram post,
Yeah.
trend,
Yeah.
and I was looking at my eyebrows, I'm like, they were rail thin. It was insane.
That mine were the same. I had such and you couldn't even, like I think I don't know if over the years they've gotten darker or if I, like, put enough,
Makeup?
like yeah, I've, like, tinted them and put it back. I don't know. Like, you definitely see them more now, but when I was younger, they were, like you couldn't even they were so blonde you could barely even see them. It was ridiculous. I was like, "I have no eyebrows. They're not there at all." So bad.
Fallacies of being a blonde person. That and
Yeah.
your eyelashes.
Oh, yeah, you can't if I'm not wearing mascara, it's like I don't have eyelashes.
You look well, I find a lot of blonde people kinda look sick, and not in,
Yeah.
like, a bad way, or just you kinda look just, like, very faded in comparison to when you wear the mascara, of
Yeah,
course.
you have to wear mascara. Otherwise, yeah, like you said that where people are always like, "You look tired." And I'm like, "Yeah,
I'm just not wearing makeup.
just not wearing makeup. Fuck out of here." It's always what it is.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, is there anything else that, like, I didn't like? Oh, and I also do like that they hugged in the end. It was almost like a cute, intimate moment,
It was cute.
thinking they're gonna die
Yeah, and
together.
he kissed her on the forehead. It was actually really tender and really nice. They had such a nice bonding moment. I think when you almost die with someone, you're gonna have a connection there that you're just not gonna get with anyone else.
It's absolutely true. So, there is a study out there. Don't quote me on the study because I don't know which one it is. But if you do a high, exhilarating date that uses a lot of adrenaline, you
Mhm.
actually create a bonding moment with the person you're on a date from. So that's why a lot of people who go on dates on like The Bachelor or Bachelorette, they tend to form quicker bonds too, because it's like you
Ah,
went through an experience together.
that is very interesting.
Mhm. So trauma can create bonds between people, and you see it all the time. Um
Trauma bonding. That is definitely something that I am familiar with. Yes.
So, I guess in this case, they really did have a trauma. Wow, Dirk's like
It's good.
skydiving, good day.
Oh my god, that would
Make
be
sure your
terrifying.
date is good with that first before you throw her in, Dirk.
That yeah, you can you imagine? We're going up in this plane. We're going, "All right, now we gotta jump out." Like, "Excuse me? What?"
What? Oh, so and I really liked at the very end, oh god, what was the line that he had said to her? Oh my gosh, I'm racking my brain. Um, oh, when she's like, "I hope you find someone that, believes in you," and he's like, "I think I already did," and I'm like, "No!"
I know, and he's like, "Any chance of seeing you again?" And she's like, "I don't think so." It
But
was
he was
so
actually
funny.
kinda cute in that moment. I was like,
He
"Oh
was
my god."
cute. I thought he was cute, yeah.
Mhm.
He had a boyish charm about him for someone that did what he did.
Mhm. So, yeah, and then she goes, "Well done, very hot." I thought it was hilarious. I'm just thinking, "Oh, no, what's gonna happen with her and the doctor now? Is
Mhm.
this gonna be a crack? I don't know," and it kinda felt like it was a crack when she came back in.
It did a little bit. However, he gave her a TARDIS key,
Yes.
and that was a big moment.
Mhm. 'Cause that was the first time that was it the first? Well, not the first time, but the first non-contested time that she alone saved him.
Yeah, that's true. He saved her first, and then she, had to return the favor.
Mhm, and I mean, she helps him a lot in all of his adventures, but this was, like, all her doing, so I think it was, um, him being vulnerable in that moment as well.
Yeah, I agree, and I think maybe learning to trust her more and because I know we saw it in the previous episode, but he is really starting to see her as her own person and not just a rose replacement, and I think that that's, like, becoming more apparent with each episode and each adventure that they go on.
Yeah, well, and that's also the first time he thought he probably lost her.
Yeah, that's true. It was like she was so close. Like they were gonna hit the sun and burn up and die. And like he got them just in time. And that was he was like very, very like when he was trying to save her and stuff, it seemed like he was really stressed about it. He would like actually thought he could lose her.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, going out into that burning hot heat, I suppose going towards the sun, the movement, how fast the ship is moving towards there. Plus, I'm sorry, I don't know if radiation is a problem, but he should have probably had some radiation burns.
That's a good point. Yeah, he should have had some radiation burn. He was like, right, the shield. I mean, I know that the shield and everything, but like, come on, the heat shield.
Mm-hmm.
That's one strong heat shield.
Another problem I had.
There's another thing.
Because do you remember that episode where the sun was about to die and the shield was failing and people were worried they were going to die?
Mm-hmm.
Including the doctor. So it just felt very shaky.
Yeah, and also in that episode that you're talking about, the heat shield that was like way in the future. So that heat shield would have been more sophisticated too.
Probably.
Like you would think.
Mm-hmm. So it's unfortunate that we're picking at it like this because we don't usually do this, or
yeah, this one is interesting.
The story's just not like, the story's good, it's just everything in between is
That's what it is. You're right. It's really just bad
it's the writer's fault.
The
Sorry,
writer.
Chris Stribnall, you suck. No kidding.
Hey, well, look, he's the one that came back in with with Jodie Whittaker and absolutely wrecked Doctor Who. So we can be mad at him.
That's true. This is his resume. It's not a good one.
Which sucks because he also did Torchwood though, and like we're loving Torchwood. It's just I don't know. I don't understand what happened, Chris Chibnall, you son of a bitch.
Were there other writers though involved?
Well, there's Russell T Davies, and then oh my god, who's the other one? It was always Russell T Davies. I'm completely blanking on his name. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Where's Tricky with his vast knowledge of all this?
I know, Tricky, you know everything. Where are you?
Oh gosh. So
Moffat.
Thank you, yes. Monkey Man and
yes. Thanks, guys. My brain was like completely blanking on his name. And they did some truly incredible episodes. I think I often wonder sometimes if they have like a larger arc and episodes that they're more focused on. So these episodes in between tend to be
the weak ones.
Because they're just like, we just got to get this out because this is just progression a little bit.
Yeah. And that probably the notes that was given was you need to have something where the Mr. Saxon is investigating.
Yeah.
And maybe build up more on this relationship to a point where it seems like they're about to, break through another barrier for bonding.
Yeah. You're right. That is kind of what it feels like.
Throm says Chibnall wrote the Cyberwoman episode of Torchwood.
That was not a bad episode. I just hated Ianto. That's all.
I'll say Cyberwoman was better than this episode for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But just trying to think other things that happened in there. That moment where the wife and the hubby, like she basically took responsibility for him and sacrificed herself. I actually thought that was a really like beautiful moment.
That was them. And it was sweet because she, is the reason that they were in that mess because she didn't scan for life, as the doctor, pointed out. But I don't think it meant that she was a bad person.
No, and sometimes people do bad things without thinking. And I feel like she did the sacrifice that was necessary for her crew to live, essentially, because it was her fault. The being even said, it's your fault. You did this.
Yeah. And it's also, I think, partially because she's like, well, I lost my husband. And if I don't do this, then I also lose my crew. Like at that point, she'd rather go out with the love of her life. And like the way she did it was so tender and so sweet. She just, she's like, I love you. And then off they go into the sun to burn up together. Like it was actually really, really touching.
Yeah. I mean, if my hubby turned into some sort of sun being and was murderous and it was because of me, I don't know if I'd want to live knowing that.
Right, exactly. Like that's such a gnarly thing to live with. Not like at least, and it was also sweet how he did seem to recognize her. Like there was a part of him that was still in there that was like, oh, this is my wife.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it goes to show, I guess, in this instant that love out of everything, because there was the Ashton who obviously or the other dude that was taken over by the sun being. I don't know what to call it. And wasn't knocked out of his I don't even know what to call possession, I suppose.
Yeah.
Whereas her husband was. Love is one of the strongest bonds anyone can have, and I think that kind of came across really, really well in that
They did a
storyline.
good job with, you know what it is with this episode? The overall story arc was good. Some of the execution was bad with some stuff, but the character development and the writing of, the characters and the
The
bonds.
accessory characters, yeah.
Yeah, it was really well done because
I
you
like
actually
that,
felt
yeah.
something for all of them.
Yeah, and even, like, the moment where the guy ends up getting frozen, it all makes sense. It's like, "Okay, let's kick their butt." If heat, you use your cold, and obviously that didn't end up getting the being, unpossessed out of the
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
because you needed -200 degrees, and humans aren't gonna be able to stand that, uh, to my knowledge, but, of course, the doctor, who isn't human, would have.
Yeah, exactly. He knew he has 2 hearts. I wonder if that has something to do with it. If you have double hearts, like, can that somehow keep your blood pumping when you're like, I don't know what it is, but something.
Who knows his superhuman skills? I don't know.
Yeah, this is his Time Lord stuff.
Mhm.
Time Lord things.
Oh my god, you remember how there's apparently, like, a child that he has? Does that child have 2 hearts or 1 heart?
What, Doctor Who's child?
Yeah.
I don't remember if they ever answer that. That's a
Just a
good
curious
question.
question.
Good
How much
question.
is she it was she, right? I believe it was a she.
Mhm,
How
mhm,
much is
mhm.
she doctor? How much is she human? Just a curious question. Maybe the chat knows. Probably not. I feel like it's something they never really addressed.
That's a good question. I guess we'll get there and we'll find out.
One day well, does she come up in the new Who at all?
Yeah, I think so, right? Oh, I'm thinking of something else. Let me see.
Draco asks which child. I don't know. I only know of one.
Okay, you're thinking of something else. So I'm thinking of like also a different child.
Oh, okay. So we're just all over the place. We'll just go
Yeah.
it's unanswered.
Exactly.
We don't know. Clearly, I don't know because I've never actually seen any episodes talking about his child.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, so there's a granddaughter, kids before her, and there's a future episode. Okay, we'll get
Okay,
there.
that's
Thank
what I
you.
thought. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm
Um,
doing research really quick. I guess it doesn't matter.
it kinda does and it doesn't. I wanna know more.
I know, but we'll get to we don't know is often the best answer. Agreed, psychotic mongoose.
Thank you,
Um,
psychotic.
yeah.
Oh, but, anyways, is there, anything else that you kinda wanted to mention about this episode?
I'm trying to
I
think. Go ahead.
I I'm very curious as to when they finally bring in all the stuff that happens with Mr. Saxon and what he because he has a lot of resources and what the doctor means to him.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun unfolding. I don't remember how many episodes exactly that is, but it's gonna be fun.
Mhm, mhm. So, overall, this episode probably gives it a 5 out of 10. That's probably the lowest score I've ever given.
For me, it definitely wasn't my least favorite of the Doctor Who there have been others that I don't like
More so than this.
more so than this one, yeah. So this one probably for me is like a 6.5 maybe out of 10.
Okay. 6.5 is not bad
Yeah.
at all.
Scratch my
Um,
eye.
so Although everyone in the chat so far says which episode is better this week, Doctor Who over Torchwood. Interesting.
Really? They like Doctor Who more than Torchwood? Okay.
Very
the Torchwood
interesting
episode was just so good because
I know.
You want to jump into it, or do you want to? Is there anything else from this
that's
episode?
it for me.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Where do we start? When they come into the murder investigation and they see the Torchwood, I was just like shocked because it just means someone knows about Torchwood. So you're like, WTF is going on.
Yep. And then you really think so. I kept thinking when they discovered that it was that pill that they give people so that they forget. I also just sort of kept thinking like, okay, is it that, or is it someone that, or maybe my thought was like, maybe he remembered. So he's like pissed off at Torchwood because he's heard so much about it. And he's the reason why he kept getting that forgetting pill. Like there were a lot of theories that he could have gone with, but the theory that they had, or that actually what it ended up being, was so awesome and out there.
Because I was thinking, okay, Pilgrim, man named Max, what's this link? This is obviously another government group that's anti-Torchwood. What?
Yeah, well, it's just, but it ends up just being like a random ass support group of people who are like, what's the meaning of life? And she was going there because, and I feel like that's such another strong sort of, I guess, lesson or message or whatever they want to put into it, is having close family and friends and support like that is so important. Because otherwise and that's why, some people find themselves in cults. It's people looking for a sense of belonging, connection and meaning. And that's what ends up happening. And that wasn't really the main focus of this, but it just sort of made me think of it because she was, everybody admitted that they really didn't know her that well, that they worked with.
And it's just wild that a person can so deviously plan your death and then rebirth, I guess you can call it that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And so like she did it so intelligently.
Like you could never what paranormal wise, I guess maybe if that were a real thing, you can plan that, but does like do you understand the glove enough to know that this would actually happen? And maybe it's something she realized really early on when she was using the glove, because she was the only one we've actually seen use the glove up to this point.
Up to Gwen. Yeah, that's true. And Gwen, of course, being the only other person that could use it. It was also interesting seeing the jealousy that Susie had for Gwen.
Oh my God. Oh, yep. Just even the unveiling of her replacing Susie, that was like such a heartbreaking moment for Gwen, but also mind-blowing watching it all.
Yeah.
As they were having their first like heart to heart, and you're thinking, oh, this is so nice, they're basically friends now. And then she's like, you're my replacement. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, she jealous. She's really jealous.
She's jealous. And then to find out that she was also sleeping with Owen, which you're just like, Owen's such a man-ho. He's out there banging everyone.
I know. But all the girls.
All of them.
Well, who knows? Maybe he's banged Jack as well.
He might have banged Jack. So Jack and Ianto, they were banging, right? Like that's what was happening at the end of that episode.
It felt like that.
Okay, that's what I thought too. All right.
Okay, I'm not crazy. You're not crazy.
I was like, okay, they're definitely going to fucking The Office, right? Okay, got it. Got it.
It's like Ianto all of a sudden swings that way too. It seems like everyone's very bi in this show.
Yes, that is exactly what it feels like, to a point where I'm like, this might be a little too much. Even then, I'm like,
we got Tosh, who swings both ways, Jack, and apparently Ianto. And Owen sometimes swings both ways. The only person who hasn't swung both ways is Gwen.
And that's yet. Who knows? Maybe she will. We'll find out.
There's still time.
Yeah, there's still time. There's going to be a future episode where she ends up hooking up with a woman and is even more confused or something.
Oh my God. But Anyways, I will say I like Ianto more in this episode. I liked his little lines, the risen mitten and what did he call the dagger? I forgot.
Oh, I forget. The risen mitten was funny though. That made me laugh because he was like, I think it sounds cool. It's like that's a mitten is cooler than gauntlet. Really? Really?
It's just so funny. Oh, so I like that Gwen used the glove and she excelled at using the glove a lot quicker than what's her face? Susie. Like
Yeah.
24 seconds than a minute. And they even said that the most Susie ever got was like 2 minutes. So
And it's true. I think that Susie was right that Gwen was just better in every way.
some people just excel at doing things, and that's fine. And I think that this was another this episode was a wake-up call for Gwen as well. To know that once you work for Torchwood, you always work for Torchwood. And if you die, you know, you might not get the picture perfect funeral. All your stuff is taken, put in a locker. You're frozen forever. Your body will never be buried.
Yeah, your family will never know. It is really heartbreaking. Or like, we'll not never know, but like never get to have any closure with burying you or getting your ashes or anything like that, you know. And that's tough. That's a tough thing.
I think that the dad, I mean, I guess Susie didn't end up actually liking her dad, but the dad didn't know what happened to her. She just kind of disappeared.
Yeah. Which is interesting because that was a whole other plot twist that I was like, holy shit. You know, she wants to see her dad, and they kept talking about how her dad doesn't even know. And we'll never find out what happened between her and her dad, but she straight up just killed her dad. Whatever was going on there was like, whoa, there was some dark shit.
I will say that that was a great moment to really solidify, because you were having this like a lot of sympathy and empathy for her, you know.
Yeah.
She looked weak. She was so sad. She was going to maybe live undead forever. And she's saying, I don't want to be alive if that's the case. But of course, she knows exactly what's about to happen. And then to finally see an extreme 360 where she just ends up straight up killing her father.
Yeah, like kills him. And then also her connection with Gwen was an interesting one, though. I did find it very odd that she, you know, kept trying. She's like, it's going to be you and me, Gwen. And like, was like really trying to take her with her for whatever reason, you know, like she just really wanted Gwen kind of by her side as she went. But it's like, you know, that she's going to die, and then kissing her and stuff like that. It was weird. It was like she was jealous of Gwen, but she still kind of
wanted to see her die, I think.
You think that's what it was? She just wanted to watch her die? That makes sense. Yeah.
Because it was satisfying to her because she was jealous of her. I mean, she killed her father really easily. So for her to see her slowly dying, whereas she's regaining all that strength, it's like a big F you to Gwen, because Gwen is everything she isn't.
Yeah.
And more. So at least that's my interpretation of it. It feels very vindictive. Like she's evil and she is really smart. Like really smart.
She's very smart. I will definitely give her that. The planning of all of that was out of control. She's
God,
like, I know
dude.
Max, that guy. That was
wild. Like the fact, I don't know what triggered, and maybe I have to watch the episode again, but what triggered him. Oh wait, never mind. I do know what happened. But I guess not seeing her for 3 months triggered him to kill some people in Pilgrim and Torchwood. So that obviously she like Mr. Miyagi'd him into doing, I don't know.
Yeah, like whatever programming she did in his brain, it was really diabolical.
Yeah, and then he eventually gets caught and then has to start saying the poem or whatever to start the lockdown, which was timed perfectly, by the way.
Perfectly. It's like she knew. Well, she did know.
Yeah, she did know.
Yeah.
And even just this was probably just to throw them off, but when Torchwood would be said, he would be aggressive for 10 seconds.
I thought that was because And this is like when I was watching before they revealed it. This is why it's so genius. I thought it was because every time you heard Torchwood, it reminded him of something that because she
And they
talked
got
about it
angry.
so much. Yeah. And then they just got angry.
Yeah. I mean, well, she did say that this was part of her plan as well, that she was giving him these amnesia pills once a week when she talked to him so that he would forget everything that she said about or to him, which I honestly do not think that she did that at all. She was just what is it called when your like therapist does the swinging watch and
Hypnosis.
Hypnosis. It probably was some sort of form of hypnosis
Yeah.
to get him to do these behaviors.
I agree. That's definitely what it sounded like.
So yeah, the programming was insane. Everything that was put into it, even her putting the vocal lockdown.
Yeah.
Like stroke of genius. Who would have ever thought? Oh, here, Pavlovian responses. There you go. Thank you.
Exactly.
And two pains. So, yeah, absolutely insane. And the whole thing with Lucy, she was part of Pilgrim, but that was just to throw them off as well.
Yeah, all of it. All of it was just so well thought out and well planned. And the timing of it all and the way everything was triggered in a series of events, exactly how she planned it, should she die. The other thing in this episode that was always it was heartbreaking in other episodes too, but the way they showed it in this episode was just like when the people are brought back to life.
I felt horrible for each and every one of them. Like the first guy was so short, so it just felt like he just came back and was like, "Oh my god, so scary." But that second guy, he's just like wanted to know his wife.
Yeah. Yeah, he just wanted to know if his wife was okay, and that was like, "Oh my
Obviously
god."
she's not.
Yeah, no, and them lying to him, which I know it sounds kind of fucked up, but I do think that's actually the kindest thing to do in the moment. To be like, "We're working on her. She's okay." Like that's they did the right thing in that. I know that that's like it seems weird, but like if he's only going to be alive for 2 more minutes, you don't want and he's already distressed and like coming back is a very traumatic experience. Also, when they're talking about what happens afterwards in the car too, like that's such a heavy conversation. Like there's just nothing.
The afterlife?
It's just dark. Yeah, it's just darkness. But it's weird because she's like, and you're just alone. She's like, I didn't say that. So it's like there's something, but there's nothing at the same time. And that's just like oddly terrifying.
Yeah. Well, it just makes me think of Hercules when you talk about like Hades and the underworld and how horrifying it is. Maybe not as dark, probably very hot. Kind of similar to our Doctor Who episode.
Yes, exactly.
But that whole idea of death, like it would be better for me if just nothing happened. You're just dark, alone. I'm okay with that, but to be haunted by something? What?
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Yeah, like that sounds terrifying.
And there's that last moment when of course Jack comes in and Susie is getting shot multiple times. Susie says something to Jack, which is just like so eerie. Do you remember that part?
Yeah. Yeah, she says it's coming for you, Jack.
I know, and it's just like we thought Jack couldn't die, and that makes so much sense why she was asking all the questions about Jack's ability to die, because I actually thought that maybe she wanted to kill him and somehow get back at him, because she's like, okay, if I can't shoot him, what can I do? But it seems like because of this thing talking to her, I guess, that's why she's looking into his immortality.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she definitely that's definitely like a weird mystery. But it also makes you kind of wonder, right? Like is it death? He just keeps escaping. So death is like, we have to come for you. Because they've had him, death has like sort of had him in its grasp
several times.
Several times, right.
And it, if this thing is an actually like evil being, it'll want to get its due, right? And Jack's not a saint by any means. So
he tries his best. I don't believe it's so weird. There's this, idea of good and evil. And I do believe there are evil people in the world. But I think, this whole idea of like, oh, you're good or evil, you're a good person, you're a bad person is so flawed because everyone, everyone has been a little selfish in their life and everyone has, done some things that maybe they're not proud of. It's just kind of part of being human and growing. I think evil is really sort of reserved for people that like murderers and things like that, serial killers, that kind of stuff. It's just it's weird. Like how do you
quantify someone as being evil?
Right. Like how do you judge someone's entire life and decide what their eternity would be like?
That's age-old questions. Yeah, honestly, like even just people who are good and bad in our societies, like you can accidentally hit a car and people might die from that. Are you a bad person? You're a
Right.
bad person in their story, but are you a bad person in general? Maybe
Exactly.
negligent, but you just changed a bunch of people's lives just based on an action or inaction. So
Right.
it's hard to tell, and I think that at least in that example, how you deal with it really makes or breaks if you're a good person or a bad person.
Yeah.
So who knows? And I mean, I'd like to think that I do mostly good, but I'm sure I'm evil on Twitter.
Oh gosh, people always say so. That kind of stuff. You can't even look at it like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like you'd like to think that your intentions are usually good, but and
Yeah.
you're hopefully thinking about other people.
Yeah. Cannibal asks, "Are you making bad choices, or are you making bad choices because you are bad?"
Right. Exactly.
There we
But
go.
everyone makes bad choices sometimes, and that's like such an interesting. We've all been
All
there. We've all
the
done that.
time.
Oh yeah.
Just some are luckier than others in the results, I suppose.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And I mean, if you look at least in this context, I think Susie is absolutely a bad person.
Yes.
You
Agreed.
are preying on Gwen's nature, saying, "My father, this and that, pity me."
Mm-hmm.
I never got to say bye. And basically Gwen's like, "Let's go for a road trip. Let's get you there. This is probably crazy. I might get fired, but I'm going to do it anyway because I feel I owe it to you, even though you're still evil and got me into this position and almost killed me."
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I think that Gwen was coming from a place of good intent and empathy, 100%.
Yeah, and she totally took advantage of it. And I mean, even before that, she of course knew where the end of Gwen was gonna happen. She was taking her life force, Gwen was using the glove, and that the fact that she set this all up. I mean, I'm guessing she didn't know for sure it was gonna be Gwen. It was gonna be someone.
Right.
And I don't know if I missed this, but is the reason Gwen did it because she volunteered to do it or she was the best one?
I think she was the best one. Everybody had already tried it and they couldn't get it to work, or they couldn't get it to work for long. Like Jack tried, Owen said, I tried before. And Gwen was just like, I'm the only one that hasn't tried. So I guess let me give it a shot. And she just happened to be really good at it.
Okay. So I totally missed it then.
It was just in that one moment when Jack tried to use the glove and he couldn't even get it to work.
Yeah, happens sometimes with men, They
Totally normal. It happens to everyone.
By the way, the amnesia pill being called retcon, I have to laugh about that.
That was really funny.
Like,
Retcon.
this Doctor Who franchise has been retconned too. Although I wish I could
this whole brain.
Take another retcon bill for the rest of the seasons that happened after or when Jodie Whittaker started.
That would have been perfect.
Can we take another retcon pill for that?
Retcon pill. Just act like none of that happened. Let's start over.
It's like unobtainium, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it felt like. You're just like, oh my God, this is not exactly creative, but it is amazing.
I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
Like it took me a while to even like figure it out. I'm like, retcon? Is that a real medication?
It took me a minute to figure it out too. I was like, what the fuck is retcon? And then I was like, oh, that's right. That makes sense.
Yes, that's how I felt, bruh.
Yeah.
How about on the blonde? Maybe I do have more blonde in my hair, technically speaking.
Do you? Because you had to bleach it for the purple, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to dye your hair soon, Missy.
I know. I did the purple and it washed out like immediately.
Oh, really?
Sucks. Yeah, I did it. It was like a very light purple and now it's just like completely gone. So I'm going to do a more vibrant purple next. Like what I did with the pink but purple because it was really fun. I loved it. It just got jacked up. So
we'll be matchy for a while.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to go back in.
So RTD did it on purpose.
Oh, that's really funny. I love that.
It was perfect. I loved it.
It is. Sure. It's so good.
Let's see. Is there anything else that was I definitely did not remember the knife giving life. I thought she just used the knife to kill people.
That's what I thought too. I didn't remember that either. I was like, okay, well, that's interesting.
That part never made sense to me. Why they use the knife. But,
yeah.
You know, can you imagine waking up and you're like, there's a knife in me?
Oh my God. Yeah. She's like, why have I been stabbed? One of the craziest parts was, watching Gwen get shot slowly and she's like reaching up and all this pain with blood on her hand. God. That was really well done too. I thought that was a very nice touch. It wasn't just that she was draining her life force and that she was dying. She was dying in the exact way that Susie died, but slower.
I actually thought that was ingenious. And her getting the headache, it was like, oh, something's going on. Don't know what it is yet, but it all made sense in the end. Something I was totally thinking that could have happened though, is as Susie was getting shot by Jack, I was afraid that Gwen was going to get shot as well. Since they were linked.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
I mean,
also them realize. Yes, seriously, me too. And then them realizing that they had to get rid of the glove.
Because if the glove was gotten rid of, then the magic goes back to Susie just dying.
Yeah.
I think that would have been probably the only thing that they could have done to like put the episode over the edge into like fantastically amazing, like best ever in terms of like a magical object. Because I think so far my favorite magical object was the mind one from Tosh.
Yeah, that was a great episode too. Yeah.
Yeah. Or at least feel it. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, in the end, all her injuries would transfer over to Gwen, or at least, or maybe that's part of the glove, was just the injuries that happened prior to the previous death. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, gosh. Let's see. Anything else that was like, I need to say something.
No, I'm trying to think. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Ianto getting the cell to work. It really showed that Ianto wasn't just a doorknob.
Yeah, he's getting less annoying as time goes on. As long as he doesn't cry and do the whole whiny thing that he was doing. That's not a strong suit for that actor, and I don't like it.
You know what? Maybe him having relations with Captain Jack made him happier. He wanted to get it in, and
I like that. Yep, that's much better. He just needed a little stress relief, and by stress relief, it was Jack's butt.
It was Jack's butt. Oh my God.
Jack's butt. Oh my god, mindless self-indulgence.
Jack changes people.
He does. I mean, if I know if we had the opportunity, you had the opportunity. I get it.
I wouldn't put in Jack's butt though.
No, that's not so fun. I wouldn't do that either.
No, I wouldn't even know what to do.
No. Well, I went to a seminar, so I would know what to do, but that's not
to peg a man.
Yeah, there is a story behind this. I didn't just go to a seminar because I was gonna learn how to peg someone. I was at what was it, Exotica. Yeah, nice. I was at Exotica and with Chrissy, and we were live streaming and interviewing people that were at the con, interviewing performers and stuff. It was really, really cool. It was really fun. But they had a bunch of different events and different seminars and performances, all kinds of stuff going on the whole time we were there. So for one of the things, it was a pegging seminar, and Chrissy and I were looking at it, and she was like, all right, you need to go to that and tell us what it was. Because just to see what that, and we're just like, I don't know what the fuck a pegging seminar is. So I did go and sit through the whole thing. It was really interesting. I guess my biggest takeaway from it was that you really have to prime the booty hole. You can't just shove it in. You got to get it ready. And she was like, with a finger or a tongue, and it was a whole thing. And they didn't do a live demonstration, obviously, but they did show on like a torso. It was it sure was something
interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's not for me. I would have to really
it literally sounds like too much work.
Yeah, and also if the guy that I really loved was hey, this is something that I'm really into or something that I want to try, I could maybe get past it for him, but I don't know, because it's so emasculating, and I don't know, it's just not really my jam.
It's not my jam.
No.
I do love teasing people about it though, because Mark's all because of his peg leg and be like, yeah.
That's really funny.
He gets very uncomfortable when I joke about it. I think most men would.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nick is all like that too. Will not let me would never let me anywhere near there. He's like, absolutely not. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh. So just to kind of finish off this episode, the last part there when who was it? Was it Ianto? When they were like, gloves come in pairs. I'm like, ugh! What a way to end the episode, because you're like, oh, it's great, it's done. No, we're finished with this. And then maybe this could be a storyline that comes back in the future.
Yep. That was actually a really, really great moment. That's such a perfect way to end that episode. Also, stroke of genius with the writing. It totally could be another one. It might not even do the same thing, but it could do something else.
It depends on, of course, the evil person, but if they find the glove, or maybe they find someone who's using the glove, whether for good or bad, who knows? Or Gwen could fall under the curse of the glove and become crazy too, just like Susie was.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god! And
then see Gwen go crazy and be evil, I
mean, they had to stop her from killing people.
She's slowly evil already. I mean, I don't like that she's cheating on her boyfriend.
Oh, poor Reese. They didn't touch on that in this episode, which is fine. You didn't need to, but poor Reese.
I know it's gonna blow up in her face at some point, and
yes.
I am ready for it, because knowing her and knowing her nature, she won't want to be with anyone, because she'll resent Owen for putting her in that position, even though she's the one that did it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's it was the choice that she made. But you're right. Yeah.
And in the end, it's her fault. But I think a lot of people who have the two lives kind of deal, they need both, and if they don't have both, it doesn't work. So it'll be interesting to see how that ends. So maybe it'll end with the glove as well.
With the glove. It's always with the glove, which incidentally is what I would have if I was priming a booty hole.
No glove, no love.
Exactly. Goddamn straight.
Oh my gosh. So, do you have anything else that you can think of from the episode? Oh, I have that part where maybe this kind of links to Gwen getting upset about the way Jack or Torchwood deals with death when she got so mad at Jack about her Susie's father.
Like, oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's just her come to moment that it's just what it is. Either you like it or you don't, or you die because you're not leaving Torchwood.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that was a good point too. It's, I think that Gwen was putting blamed a lot of stuff on herself and a lot of stuff on Jack. And Jack blamed a lot of stuff on Gwen, a lot of stuff on himself. But I think at the end of the day, you can't control what other people do, regardless of what you do. I don't think it was either of their faults.
No, and I think that Jack is trying to do the best that he can given his position. It's not an easy position to be in when you're in leadership, and especially when you have so many lives relying on you and not knowingly that they're relying on you. So you have to operate in the shadows all the time, no thanks, and just continue to do it.
And not knowing, he's lived for a long time at that point, not knowing how long you're going to live. Like, if you get too close to people, you will end up losing them, which is something that we saw in that fairy episode. It's that's also a very lonely place to be.
I'm so sad about that episode still. That was a great one.
It was such a good episode. I loved it.
She was his ex-wife. Well, not even ex-wife, right? Were they married?
Just a girlfriend. They were married. Yeah, maybe just ex-lovers. But they loved each other. They said they were going to die together.
Yeah, and I guess she technically died. No, she died before he got there. I forgot.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Poor old lady. Poor old lady. So, yeah, Gwen has to just be happy about working there. And it seems like she's excelling. And she seems happy. She has Owen.
I think she's a better fit for Torchwood than Susie was.
I mean, Susie's diabolical. Of course it is.
Crazy town, that woman.
Like, if she was a good person, imagine all the good she could have done.
I know. If she had put that brain power towards something good instead of all that other shit, she was basically a freaking tactical genius. Well, maybe tactical is not the word, but she was a genius. What's the word I'm looking for? My brain is
tactical genius.
Dumb lately.
Because she had so many plans upon plans upon plans.
It was crazy.
If she comes back again, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay.
Same. She figures out a way, exactly like what Ianto said. Maybe we should lock it up because there's another glove. Who knows? She could have had this shit planned out. She's like, if I die again.
I want them to actually just burn her body. It would probably be the easiest thing. I'm surprised they don't.
Yeah, right. That's actually a good point. They really should just what is it called? Cremator.
Yeah. It would be, then you don't need the storage space either.
Exactly. He's like, we're running out of space. Like, why aren't you just burning these people? Yeah. Throw them into trees.
Yes. All right. I give this episode probably like a 9.5 out of 10. Not perfect, but like pretty darn close to it.
Yeah, it was a really good episode. I'm with you on that one. That's a good score.
So I guess next week, of course, we're going to be on Zia's channel. We will do a double episode of Doctor Who called Human Nature and the Family of Blood. So that'll be really, really, really fun.
That is fun.
And guys, in the chat,
I'm going to look this up now.
If you remember, were we supposed to do all of Torchwood before episode 10 of Doctor Who? Because I believe that's what you guys said. And I don't want to screw it up. Well, screw up is a strong word, but I don't want to I want to watch this the best we can, because if that's the case, we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 episodes left. 5 episodes left of Torchwood. So yes, so it sounds like what we should probably do is a 2 Doctor Who, and then if we have 5 episodes of Torchwood left, like a 3 and a 2, I guess.
Yeah, right? That would make sense.
All of season 1. So after the double Doctor Who, we have 2 weeks of Torchwood. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited to see how that ends.
Yeah, me too. Because there's a lot of cool story stuff coming.
And I mean, this is almost how I felt with Doctor Who, but I really like how dark Torchwood is. It's more adult.
Yeah, well, that first episode, or not that, the first scene in this episode was like 2 people with their throats slit and blood everywhere.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Here. Oh, yeah. Jonathan says season 1 was supposed to be completed before Blink, which is the episode after the double double feature.
So we double then on the Doctor Who, and then we just finish Torchwood. And then watch Blink. Okay, got it.
Yeah. We got so many things to do. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. But in the meantime, I'm going to rest. I don't know about Zia if she's going to rest, but Zia, where can people find you?
I'm definitely also going to rest. Your girl's going to go to sleep so early tonight. Zialand on everything. XIALAND. My YouTube channel is Zialand, and Twitter and Instagram is Zia_land.
Yay. And you can find me Xray Girl everywhere. Tomorrow I have the Real BBC on Nerdrotic channel, and then we have Bramable coming on Poor Choices for Dadcast at 6 p.m. Eastern. So lots of good stuff. And if I wake up early enough, I sold Mr. Porkchop. We play Stardew Valley if you guys are interested in that. Ooh. So yeah. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you, Zia, for being here, even though your boobies hurt.
No, they are feeling a lot, like pain-wise, it's a lot better. I just like changing hurts, being out of a bra hurts, and I'm trying not to reach for things. Like it's just a little bit of pain and it's a little tender, but most of the pain is like way, way better. I'm just so freaking tired. Like I'm waiting for that to go away. For Pete's sake, I just want to sleep.
Your body keeps healing. That's why.
Yeah, I know. And I'm trying to be good about it, and I'm trying to rest, and I'm trying to eat good food. Like I've been making protein shakes with frozen berries and almond milk, and like having salads for dinner. And like I'm trying, because my first couple, like honestly, for like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, I just ate complete and utter garbage. Like I definitely have gained a few pounds. I'm trying not to think about it. It's like
I thought you wanted to gain weight.
I was trying to gain muscle. I wanted to gain when I was like lifting heavy at the gym. Now I'm just sitting around and eating. But so I've like finally got my diet back on track. So I've been trying to get like just better food choices, healthier stuff, and just sleep and rest a lot.
That's good. I'm glad you need it. And then I can't wait to get you back at full health.
You too. I know it sucks to rest, but like so many fluids and lots of sleeping, but it does suck. I get it.
Yeah. I will do a face reveal sometime soon. I am in the TARDIS, by the way.
I see that it's with Matt Smith.
Matt Smith. I haven't seen him yet. This is my first time hanging out with him. You know, it's fine. He hasn't given me a key. Unfortunately.
He will, damn it. He will.
I hope so. So anyways, chat, thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next week on Zia's channel. Okay. Bye.
Bye.